Hello and welcome to this LGfL video where we're going to cover full system disaster recovery using GridStore. So in this case we're going to log into the GridStore Windows console, and once we're in there I can browse into where I keep my servers, which is in my UK group under servers, and let's sort them by last backup time, and the server that I'm looking for is my Windows 2019 Generation 2 Hyper-V system. So in this case, this system is protecting 15 gig, and I can see over here with the features and plugins list that the full system recovery option was ticked. That means I can recover this system in its entirety in the event of a disaster. So to start that process, what I simply must do is right click on the system, choose instant data. I can either share this if I needed to perform this on maybe my Hyper-V host, or maybe within my virtual environment. I can share this as a link, but in this case I'm just going to click on the open to download and present the tool on my device. So in this demonstration we are going to perform a full system recovery, so I'm going to click on launch. Okay, so the default is always going to try to restore from the GridStore cloud. So in this case, my server's data is sitting on UK Data Center 1, storage server number 32. However, it is possible to enable our backup service to have a local copy, and you can restrict the amount of local copies retained on site. So if I had that enabled, I might want to choose the local copy to restore the system from. In my case, I want to perform the restore from the cloud, and before I can move further on, I need to provide a valid encryption key. Okay, so now that I've provided the encryption key, I can see all of the historical dates and times that I can restore this machine from. So let's choose the 1st of April. I can also choose where I'm recovering this system to. Now in this case, this is a Hyper-V Generation 2 host, but I could be potentially recovering this to VMware vSphere and orchestrate the restore to VMware, or I could be restoring to Microsoft Azure, or I could perhaps be restoring to bare metal via a script that you can execute from a memory stick. So in this case I'm going to do a local disk virtual format, and when I pull the disk types down you'll see that I have two different formats for Hyper-V, a VHD Generation 1 or a VHD-X, which is a Generation 2. You'll also see that there are 3 different revisions of a VMware VMDK file. So check out our FAQ page on our GridStore website to help you with what version you require for different versions of ESXi. So in this case, I'm going to do a restore to a VHD-X disk, and I just need a location on my device of where I'm going to recover that virtual machine to. So you see here that the actual recovery size in this case will be 15 gig. This is a thin provisioned restore. So even though the partition might have been 100 gig, we're only going to be restoring 15 gig in this case. And there's some additional options that you might want to use, like only restoring a particular volume if you know that that server has a C and a D and an F drive. Or you might want to disable the backup client that might already be set up inside that virtual machine. So in my case, I'm just going to start this process to kick off the restore. Okay, fantastic. So now the full system restore has completed. I can see that across my broadband here it took 9 minutes and 50 seconds to restore this 15 gig host. So we can obviously look at the technical information here to make sure that it completed without any errors. And now I'm going to close that interface, and I'm going to now drop into my Hyper-V manager and right click on my system and say new virtual machine, and I'm now just going to complete this wizard. So I'm going to give it a name and then click next, and then this was a Generation 2 virtual machine, so I'm going to click next. I'm going to allocate a little bit more memory. So let's give it 4 gig. Hit next. I'm not going to connect it to the network in this case. And this is the important step. So what I want to do is use an existing VHDX. So I'm going to browse to my D drive, into my Hyper-V data center folder, and there is the virtual disk that we've just restored. And I'm going to open that and click next. And now I'm going to hit finish to create that virtual machine. So now that we've got it added in my Hyper-V, I'm going to simply click on start, and I'm also going to connect to the VM so that we can watch it start up. And as you can see, that full system has now restored. It will have the same computer name and the same apps as before. So thanks ever so much for watching.